Yo, what up? Welcome to Tevez the Best. Today is Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. My name is JC Tevez. Welcome to the podcast about my life and nothing else. But stick around, you might learn something new. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Is that what it is? Independence Day? Sorry, I didn't grow up here. I think it's Independence Day, right? Happy Independence Day to all the people out there. Sorry I didn't record last week. I have a reason, all right? And the reason is starts with a letter C, ends with unverge. Fuck converge. Man, yeah, Converge. They screwed me out of my internet for about a week. It was just such a frustrating 6 or 7 days of me calling them, blah blah blah, back and forth. We'll escalate the problem, sir. We'll we'll make sure that we put it into our log, sir. And then they never get back to it. I'm kind of self-conscious right now because I'm recording some video on my camera for this podcast. I'm debating if I should upload it online. So to all my Teveza the Best stands out there, let me know. Should I upload the whole video or should I just do clips? Um, but yeah, so Converge screwed me over. And then, speaking of customer service in general, I talked a little bit about it on Halala Show, but um, I was on hold with BDO for about 2 hours one night. I gave up. I called around 10 a.m. the next day. They picked up in 35 minutes. So good on you, man. Making progress. 2 hours to 35. Yeah, was that a 300% increase? Anyway, I was ranting about it on Halal Show. I just want to delve a little bit deeper into it because I feel like there's problems on both sides. Okay, the first thing is I have to acknowledge, all right, because I work in customer service. If you're not getting paid enough, you're not paid enough to give a fuck, right? I understand that. I get that, right? And if it's part of their job where all they have to do is like just type in your complaint and then they'll pass it off to the next person, and that's, call it a day. They go out outside of work, after work, during their break, they take a cigarette because they hate us, and then they go back in and then they finish up doing what they were doing. I understand that. I get it. But at the same time, so on that end, just what's the solution to that? We need to pay our call center people, our customer service reps people just a little bit more. I will say though, on the other end, so here's the part two of this dilemma, this equation, is that there's so much stuff that's wrong here in the Philippines, like stuff that is out of our control, you know, right? With laws and infrastructure, basically stuff that the government can't can't or won't do for us. But what we can do as maybe as individuals or as business people, make the individuals in your company be better, because I don't know, when you think of efficiency, obviously traffic sucks, right? Traffic is ass. You think about what else is inefficient here. I mean, but just going, for example, just going to the banks, man. And I know I've ranted about this so much in the last 7 or 8 years that I've been here, and this is coming from someone who came from the U.S. And that's why I guess I have the perspective is different. In the US, there's barely any wait time because any wait time is money lost for the company. And the company knows that. So they train the employees to say, you know, there's a saying, for example, one example I always give is in food service or like in a store or anywhere where there's a POS, right? A point of sale. The term is called killing the line, if that makes sense. So let's say there are 30 customers and there's only one cashier open. When they see 30 customers and there's three other people that know how to go on the cashier, know how to go to the register, they send them out like boots on the ground, workforce, get on the register and let's kill the line. Let's get all 30 of these people, these paying customers out of here. Then we can go back to, doing whatever we're doing or chilling or whatever. And what it frustrates me to no end that when I go to a bank, I see two tellers. And I don't know what the tellers in the back are doing. I may be somewhere on break, possibly. I've gotten in at like 11 a.m. and there's no way your lunch break is, or no, not 11 a.m. I've gotten in at like past lunch, like 3 p.m. Lunch break should be done by then, right? And I see two people in the register, and not only that, right? If there was just two people, I didn't see anyone else. Okay, fine. What can we do? But I see like 5 or 6 of the tellers in the back, and I think they're tellers because they all wear the same uniform, who I assume can do the same duties, just chilling or working on something else. And I don't know. I mean, maybe there is somebody who's super important that they have to take care of. Could be, but for it to happen every time I go, I doubt it. I think that they are. Maybe I could be completely wrong. I just think that they would rather not go on register or not go to the counter and just work on another duty that is part of their job responsibility. I'm sure, but get on the fucking thing. Get in the teller booth. Let's kill the line, get rid of all the people in the branch, and then go back to it. I don't know. Is that just me? It's just frustrating to no end. Well, once again, I don't know the other side of things. So if I am being completely ignorant, well, fuck me, right? Anyway, so on my last episode, I talked about people. I talked about, should I talk about music on this podcast? Because I rarely talk about music, and I think I got 3 or 4 messages from you guys saying, "Yeah, JC, talk about music. Talk about, the music that you listen to." So, first off, I don't know if I should plug it yet. I did make a playlist on Spotify. It's called what the fuck is that playlist called? It's called Tevez of the Best Hits. Wait, let me pull it up. So if it's your first time listening to podcasts, obviously you know, or obviously you can hear now that I don't really plan anything out that I'm doing, and I usually Google search stuff while I am recording. I don't cut my recording at all most days. Where is my fucking playlist? Oh, okay, it's called Teveza the Best Bangers. That's what it's called. And Teveza the Best has that, like, it's not quotation marks. It's like a whatever, quotation marks minus one quotation thingy on each side. What do you call that? Apostrophes? Fuck, I don't know. So, my question is though, so before you follow this playlist, I need to know, like, do you want the same kind of theme of music that, that I'm feeling? Because I listen to, if you go to my liked songs on Spotify, I'll be playing, like, I don't know, like a Disney song, and then some Kanye West comes on after, and then so on and so forth. So let me know if you want me to curate it a little bit more, or just maybe bunch the songs together if you don't use random and you go from top to bottom. Music! I was going to talk about this maybe a week and a half ago, but you probably heard it already. I thought it was under the radar because it wasn't her first single, but Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather, I was mistaken when I said that Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us would probably be my #1 song on Spotify Unwrapped this year. I think it's going to be Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather. Let me tell you why, though. Because this song, Birds of a Feather, is like the ultimate pop song. And if you've ever listened to Billie Eilish, nothing against Billie Eilish, I respect Billie Eilish. I love the stuff that goes on behind the scenes of the song. Like, for example, remember I talked about on this podcast a while back, if you go to YouTube and you look up the What Was I Made For, the Barbie movie song, but the making of it, making of it. Hold on, I'm Googling it right. From Vanity Fair. All right, watch it. It's an 18-minute long video. It is incredible, the process that goes behind making that song, and it's just Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas, right? Killing it. But for me, Billie Eilish has always been so, her music is so deep, like it's past surface level, if that makes sense. I don't want to say Illuminati, but sometimes when I listen to her songs, I'm like, man, that's like Illuminati. Doesn't make any sense to anybody but myself. But you guys get me. It's like deeper than deep. And for the first time in a long while, she made a song that is basically a 90s, early 2000s love song. And it's so good. Fuck, this song is so good, right? Because, you know, if you think of Billie Eilish's like best song, or like not her best songs, her chart toppers, right? Like Bad Guy, right? It's so dark and Illuminati. But Birds of a Feather, I mean, just look at the lyric. Let's play a little snippet of it. It's so good, man. I want you to stay till I'm in the grave, till I rot away, dead and buried. It all makes sense. Like, basically, she's saying, don't leave me until I die. That's it. It's so easy to understand. You don't need Genius or whatever on Google to look it up. And the chorus is just, it's so good. Birds of a feather, we should stick together. Anyway, it kind of reminds me of, you know how songs like love songs in the 90s, I specifically if you grew up in the boy band era, right? They basically tell you they're basically spelling it out for you. You don't have to read between the lines or think too deep about the song. They are literally telling you what's going on, right? So Backstreet Boys, classic. What's a classic? As Long as You Love Me, right? I don't care who you are, where you're from, what did she say? What you've been, what you've done? Wait. As long as wait, I forgot the lyrics. What you did, as long as you love me, right? Who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as you love me. That's pretty much. It's pretty much the "As Long as You Love Me" version. Like it's the "As Long as You Love Me" of Billie Eilish, and I'm here for it. And it's my fucking favorite song. It's so replayable. Go check that song out if you haven't listened to it. Okay, other songs. So on the playlist, what else have I included? Okay, so I don't know if I told you guys. I have a side gig right now. I'm not sure if it's something I'm gonna like go deep into, but I have a pretty great side gig where I don't know if I would call myself a social media manager. It's such easy work because social media managers, they do a lot of work, right? They plan stuff out. Me, I just send messages like daily. It's super easy. Like it's not even. Anybody could do it. Like, there's no training involved. But that's besides the point. Part of the gig is it's messaging musicians, right? And we're trying to get them to sign up for something, right? I'm not gonna delve into it, but so I've been going down this list. I don't know how they get this list. Maybe some sort of data scrapper where they curate a list of people. Think of it as like when brands reach out to influencers. I don't know how they get their list of influencers, but somebody has a master list out there. So I have a master list of artists that I reach out to. And a lot of the time, most of the time, I try to listen to like their stuff to see if it's good. And there's this one band that I found. I don't think they're not famous. If I ask anyone on the street, I feel like 10 out of 10 people won't know who they are. But they have this song called Made for You. And the 4 and the U are numbers and the letter U. So made, the number 4, and then U. And the name of the band is Wake the Wild. Let me play you a little snippet. It's pretty good, man. Like, it has that, I don't know how you describe this feel. Come on. Good song, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard them, but probably not. Good song. So what's on this playlist? Let me keep reading down here. Oh, in a similar vein, this song's kind of old. I think came out a year or two ago. It's called Paradise by Before You Exit and Great Good Fine Okay. Paradise by Before You Exit. Go listen to that or just go to the playlist. Tevez are the best bangers. Speaking of Before You Exit, you guys know that on my last show on radio, I played one of their songs. It was my final song, my sign-off song, a song called Suitcase, because it had a pretty solid in terms of lyrics wise. It was very relevant to me leaving, and B, it was the first song request that I ever granted in 2016. I remember that moment. It was so cool. So yeah, listen to that song. All right. What else? Mish, Something Stupid by Michal Leah, Michalleah. Now, Something Stupid, you guys know that song, the Nicole Kidman, Robbie Williams song. I like her rendition. I don't know how to say her name. Michal Leah. And the last, I mean, I haven't added that many songs on here, but the last thing that I want to talk about, super, I don't know if they're underrated, because in the UK they are definitely like legends. But there is this pop punk rock band from the early 2000s that I listened to all the time. And they never made it big here in the Philippines. They didn't really crack the scene in the US, but in the UK they were huge. And I remember them suddenly, or not suddenly, but I listen to them all the time when I'm driving. But I kind of delved back into their discography, especially their first two albums, because I edited a video of my cousin's wedding. Like, I just put some clips together, and I used one of their songs called "Crash the Wedding." The name of this band is Busted, Busted. I didn't want to flood my Tevez the Best playlist with their songs, but I put 3 songs on there that I feel like are not as well known, because their most well known song you've probably heard either of the actual song or of the remake, which sucks, by the way. Year 3000, right? Jonas Brothers, trash ass cover. BT Dubs, the Busted version is just so much better. I hate that Jonas Brothers. They Disney channeled the fuck out of that song, right? There's one line in the Busted song which says, "Triple-breasted women swim around town totally naked." I forgot what the Jonas Brothers changed it to. Some Mickey Mouse bullshit. But yeah, Year 3000. And another song that you might know them for is "What I Go to School For," which was, I think, their first smash hit. And it's a great song. If anything, maybe you should listen to "What I Go to School For," because that is the song that put them on the map. But I'm putting songs on here that either were not chart toppers, or some were just like middle of the pack in terms of how they performed in the charts. So the 3 songs I have on here are "Losing You," "Sleeping with the Light On," and "That Thing You Do." But if you do listen to Busted, all right, let me just say, only listen to their first 2, because I don't really like their latest albums, which seems to be the case. I don't know. I don't know why the quality drops off for a lot of artists. There's some artists that remain consistent. Right? I mean, that's why they're probably the biggest stars of the, who can I think of? I mean, Ariana has been pretty consistent. Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran. Although his last album, I loved his last album, but a lot of people didn't like it because it didn't have as many pop bangers, even though it's probably his second best album next to Plus, which is my favorite. In terms of songwriting. Oh, God. I'm dying. Sorry, excuse me, guys. So the 2 albums that you have to listen to, the first album is just their name, Busted, from 2002. And the second album is A Present for Everyone, 2003. Don't listen to their Greatest Hits 2.0 album, because it's not really their greatest hits. It is, but they have featured artists. It doesn't sound the same. It's not as good. All right, so go listen to those 2 albums. I guarantee you, if you ever... I don't know what's in my throat. If you have ever enjoyed pop, punk, rock music, right? Busted deserves to be in the upper echelons of the rankings, right? Okay, let me look it up, because I can't think off the top of my head. I mean, Simple Plan, pop punk bands. Paramore, I would put them, honestly, I would put their first 2 albums against any Paramore album, right? I swear, I stand by Busted, man. All Time, you know what? I never listened to All Time Low. I don't know any fucking All Time Low songs, believe it or not. Yellow Card, which is, yeah. Oh, Yellow Card. What happened to Yellow Card? Ocean Avenue. Oh, not Ocean Avenue. What's the other one? The other Yellow Card. Yeah, that Yellow Card song is in my probably top 50 songs of all time. The name escapes me. What's the title? Only One. You are my only one. Okay. What other? October. I don't know these. Faber Drive, 2004. Bowling for Soup. Yeah. So if you like Bowling for Soup, if you like, I'm trying to find artists that are similar, because Busted has humorous takes in a lot of their songs. So Bowling for Soup, Simple Plan. I don't want to say, even though I said I can put them up against Paramore, their music isn't exactly the same lyric wise, like content wise. Because Paramore is more about heavier stuff. Although Busted does have some deep songs. Newfound Glory, that's another one that I would put them up next to. Yeah, anyway, I don't want to go through this whole list, but pretty much Busted, what the case in point is, Busted is super underrated. Go listen to them. On the others, another band also similar, also big in the UK, McFly, also very good. Although I think McFly did a little bit better here in the Philippines. So maybe I bet you're more familiar with McFly than you are with Busted. Could be. If you're gonna listen to McFly, the song you need to start with is probably All About You. Yeah, All About You by McFly, MCFLY. Anyway, wow. 20 minutes in. Let's talk about stuff that I did this week. Let me just go backwards in terms of chronology. Yesterday, I had a fucking cool hosting, man. I hosted for Jollibee, and Jollibee has a brand new collaboration with Pinoy toy maker, artist, graffiti artist, whatever. Like, he does everything. His name is Quicks, Quiccs. If the name might not sound familiar to you, I'm sure his toys, you've probably seen them because they are a part of local pop culture, right? If you are in any way, even if you are in any scope, if you've dipped a foot into the water of pop culture, you've probably seen his stuff somewhere because he has collaborations with everybody. Not just, I mean, Jollibee's the latest one, but he's had one with Adidas, he's had one with Funko. I think he's had one with Uniqlo. I know he had one with Ateneo because my friend messaged me and said, "Hey, I was trying to buy the Ateneo Quicks collaboration." So he's everywhere. I think he has a Sriracha one, but it's really cool. The name of the the name of the toy is the Jolly Tech, JOLLITEQ. It's so cool. And what's even cooler is Quicks is the most down to earth dude ever. Right? I talk about meeting a lot of celebrities and like influencers and whatever, artists, blah blah blah, in my line of work, and most of them are really cool when you chat with them. But there are certain few that, for me, they stand out in my mind and are a core memory, so to speak, because we just talked for like an hour and a half after the event about like everything. I mean, we related to a lot of stuff, basketball, shows, just in general, man. So shout out to that. Shout out to Jollibee. Shout out to Quick. Shout out to Stratworks who booked me for this hosting. Shout out to you guys. I love you guys. And go to ToyCon this weekend, right? ToyCon is happening this weekend. I doubt you'll be able to get one of the Jolly Techs because I think there's only 100 plus made, and the people who are gonna buy that, they're probably gonna be in line like Thursday night. I have a feeling because it's a collector's item. It's limited edition. So good luck, man. Over the weekend, I also hosted for Cyberzone. Shout out to Cyberzone in SM South Mall. Never been there before. So I was like, where the fuck is SM South Mall? Apparently, it's in Alabang. But every time I go to Alabang, right, once I exit Skyway or SLEX, whichever exit you take, the only malls that I know are Festival and Town, Alabang Town Center. I did not know that if you drove farther down that road, what is it called? Alabang Zapote or whatever. Like you go down another 10 minutes, there is an SM there. I have never been to SM South Mall. So I hosted for Cyberzone. They're launching Mobile Mania. Shout out to the Cyberzone team, to Enzo Red. I met some gamers like the pro. What game did they play? Mobile Legends. I've never played Mobile Legends, by the way, or Dota. Like, I've never played Dota. But weirdly enough, I don't know why I never got into it because I did play StarCraft 1 growing up. I played a lot of Warcraft 3. I even played Frozen Throne. I played Red Alert 2. I played... Here's one. Here's a blast from the past. Age of Empire. No, not Age of Empire. Well, yeah, I did play Age of Empires. But Age of Mythology, right? Was that the name? That's a blast from the past for a lot of you, I'm sure, if you're as old as me. So I played all those RTS games. I don't know why I never got into to like Dota, because Dota is like a spin-off of World Warcraft, right? It's like a mod, and it kind of just blew up. Anyway, so yeah, I did that. What else did I do? Oh, by the way, we recorded Halala Show while I'm kind of working out my thoughts here. Go listen to Halala Show. Our latest one dropped on Monday, although that was something we recorded last week. We just recorded a couple days ago. That should come out. I'm debating if it should come out on Friday or next week so that we have one every week. Let me know when I should record that. Anything else that I did? Movies. Oh, I'm gonna go watch probably Inside Out 2 and probably cry later today. You guys ever watch Inside Out? Inside Out is one of the few movies that has ever made me cry. And weirdly enough, it's not even my favorite Pixar movie, right? But that one scene where, what's her name? Riley? The girl? The main girl. The girl whose people are inside her, right? the emojis are inside her. She runs away from home because she's sad, because she doesn't have any friends. She's in a new city. And that shit hits so hard for me because I grew up bouncing around, right? I grew up in Japan and I moved to the States, but I went to Washington State and then I moved to San Diego and then I moved here. Like, I was always bouncing around, going to different schools, and that's something that I feel like I missed out on in life. And I don't think you can't go back in time, right? But some people, I'm so jealous of people that grew up with the same set of friends all through elementary, middle school, high school, right? You fucking the same guy. You're still best friends after, right? And then you go to college and you're still friends. I never had that. I mean, my longest set of friends, like in terms of when I was growing up in school, probably 4 years. And then I'd go somewhere else, go to a different school. It was tough, man. And I really, when Riley, the Inside Out girl, came back to her parents and started crying and saying, like, I forgot what she said. I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe I should rewatch that before I watch part 2. But that shit hit hard. I'm tearing up thinking about it. Anyway, I'm gonna watch Inside Out 2. And you know why Inside Out isn't one of my favorites? Because of fucking Bing Bong. I hate Bing Bong. He gave me villain vibes from the get-go. He was so creepy. Right? The imaginary friend. You guys remember Bing Bong? I always talk shit about Bing Bong whenever the topic of Inside Out comes up. I feel like he ruined the movie for me. And everyone was sad. Like, I remember, like, one of the quote-unquote sad moments of the movie was when Bing Bong dies. I was so happy. I was like, fuck that guy. Creepy-ass little elephant-looking guy. I hated him. I hated Bing Bong. I don't know what to say. I don't want to tell you. All right? Any Bing Bong defenders out there? Plead your case. Let me know. But other Pixar movies, since we're on the topic, I feel like I've talked about it before, but might as well talk about it now. Pixar movies that made me cry. Soul is the most recent one. That shit hit me like a ton of bricks. Soul, man. Soul is a hard watch. Like, it's a beautiful watch, but it is a hard watch for anybody that is dealing with finding your identity in life, your purpose in life, like most of us are. Soul just cuts deep. And was, I don't know. It's not the most, like, in terms of, it's probably top 3 for me. Might be even top 1 or 2 now. But it's not as quote unquote like entertaining. It's not like a fun action packed Pixar movie a la like Toy Story, or where there's a crisis going on. There's a crisis in Soul, but it's more like a identity crisis, right? Versus there's a bad guy, we gotta save Woody, we gotta find Nemo, right? But Soul is a perfect film to encompass the hardships of adult life and finding yourself in a sea of uncertainty and self-doubt. And yeah, Soul, man, good movie. The other movie, and the one that I think I cried the hardest, I don't know, actually I do know why. Toy Story 3, right? Toy Story 3 was I was bawling, bro, in the cinema. I never, like, if I cry in a movie, it's usually a couple tears. Dude, I was like, like whatever you call that, hagulgul. I was doing that shit in the theater, bro. Not at okay, and not in the scene with the lava, alright, where everyone thinks they're gonna die. I do not understand how people thought that it's possible that they would kill Woody, Buzz. Who else is in that scene? Mr. Potato Head, Pig Guy. What's his name? Porky? What's his name? Coin Bank Pig. What's his name? Ham, T-Rex. Right? I forgot who else was part of the core group. I don't know why people thought they're gonna burn them in this incinerator. I was not even worried. Right? I was like, come on, man. Get out of here. Although there's a fantastic YouTube video where someone edited that scene and then they cut that scene and then put the credits after, like it cut to black and they put the credits after, and then they showed that version to their family. It's so fucking funny. It's so funny. I need to rewatch that. But anyway, the saddest scene for me is not the fake out death scene. It's the last scene where Andy is giving his toys to the new girl who I forgot her name, and he's like, "Okay, here are my new toys," and then the little girl reaches into the box and pulls out Woody, right? And Andy thought that Woody was not in the box, and then Andy does this little. It's a slight. I might be wrong. I might be just I haven't seen the scene in a while, but he does this little thing where he reaches out his hand, like as if like, what the fuck? That's not supposed to be in there. And and then the girl kind of says like, oh, it's Cowboy, because I forgot what she calls him. And you can see the hesitation in him, and you can see him from hesitation to like, I want to take Woody back to, it's time to move on. I feel it right now. I feel the tears coming out because, my God, I had so many toys growing up, and I remember my favorite toys to play with were these action figures, like these robots. I call them robots, but they're literally like Power Ranger, Sentai, not hentai, right? Sentai Rangers, because I lived in Japan, and every like few years there's a new iteration of Rangers, and I would buy them. It was a set of 5. It's not the action figures with like all the limbs could move. It was just the arms that go up and down. Like their arms are straight. And I must have had like 200 of these things. I remember. It was a lot. And it was a big part of my childhood. It was a big part of me daydreaming all the time. I would be a certain character, and my cousins would be this character and this character. Like I would associate these quote unquote robots or action figures to people in my life. And I remember when my mom said like, do you want to sell these to these there's like a garage sale at a church where all the Filipino people go, and at this time I was probably maybe 12 or 13 now. So I was kind of aging out of, and I'm not saying that you don't, obviously I just talked about quicks, right, and how toy collecting is still big amongst adults, but at this point in my life, I wasn't really playing with them anymore. Just like you've seen in Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, right? Like Andy doesn't want to play with them anymore because he's going to college. And man, when I said okay, but I remember when we went to the garage sale, or the it's not a garage, it's not a garage, but it's like a flea market. And there are a bunch of kids who were younger than me who I remember they're the kids that they were the age that I was when I was playing with them a lot. And I was selling them for mad cheap. Honestly, I feel like if I kept those, they'd be worth a lot of money because they were like, they weren't out of the never open condition, obviously, right? I played with them, but I feel like there's some value in it. I should look that up later on. But anyway, long story short, I sold almost all of them, but there was like one, it was me, the Ranger that I associated with me, I held on to for a little bit, and then some kid, honestly, I'm not making this shit up, man. Some kid came up and said, "Oh my God, Red Ranger!" And then, I guess I forgot if it was the mom or dad, said like, "Magkano yan? How much is that?" And I did the Andy thing. I was like, no, I'm not gonna sell it. And then I was like, but it was like the last one, like almost one of the last ones, and I sold it for the same price as the rest of them. But that shit, I remember that shit cut deep. Oh, I'm about to cry. I don't want to talk about it anymore, guys. Anyway, those are the Pixar movies: Toy Story 3, Soul, Inside Out. I want to say Coco, but I think Coco would hit a lot harder. Like if you lost, I feel like if I had lost my Lola and Lolo before I watched Coco, then it might have made me cry more. Although that movie is great. Coco is up there as well. All right, Coco is like top five, I would say. I feel like I've talked about top five Pixar along, and the list is constantly changing. So let's see how Inside Out 2 does, right? And hopefully there's no imaginary character. I mean, I'm trying to think what's gonna happen, right? Like, what is the new thing? How old is Riley in this one? Because I know there's like anxiety. There's ennui. There's, I forgot who the other emojis are. Is there no horny emoji? I mean, obviously it's a kids movie. They're not gonna put that. But like, what would the horny emoji be? If they were gonna make like Inside Out 3, rated R, what would the horny emoji be? Right? Probably some like a Johnny Sins looking guy. Anyway, so yeah, that's the podcast. I'm gonna try to keep it short. Oh, it's about 36 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep it short. I know it wasn't that interesting this time around, but I just wanted to get a recording out. It is a holiday, so I figured I should record and put this out there. I don't know about the video. I'll let you guys know if I'm gonna actually upload it. If you see a video online, that means I did. If you don't, that means either it was just such a pain to edit or render. But yeah, that's it. Make sure to follow me online. Send me a message. I'll talk about anything that you want me to talk about on the podcast. Literally anything. Send me a message on the podcast Instagram at Tevez of the Best, and follow me on my personal at It's Me JC. Been uploading videos every day. So yeah, see you then. And that's it. Catch you all. Say it with me. Later.